So let's talk about what words we teach. We know core words are 80% of what you or I say. They make up lots of different parts of speech, verbs, pronouns, adjectives. This is because it's 80% of what you or I say, this is what we really want to focus on when we're choosing vocabulary targets for children with complex communication needs. So I like to give the example of if we're going to the zoo, if we're thinking about fringe vocabulary, mostly nouns, very specific, concrete, we might say things like zoo or zebra or ice cream on our device. But if we were using core word vocabulary, we might say go and see and eat. Those words can be used at the zoo, they can be used at the park, they can be used at home, they can be used all the time because they're very general. And that's the glue that helps children build sentences together. And we know from research that these are the words that kids say. Typically, developing toddlers are using these words more so than using fringe vocabulary. It's easy to get stuck using fringe vocabulary when we're thinking about AAC, but we don't want to get stuck there. We want to give children the building blocks to be able to build generative language, and we do that through core vocabulary. Here's some core word resources. I don't have time to get into all the details because I really want to jump to all the telepractice strategies. I love Practical AAC. Project Core is amazing. PRC Language Lab. These are all, by the way, links, hyperlinks. So feel free to check them out after the presentation. Okay, let's talk about modeling, which is also called aided language input, aided language stimulation. Basically, this means we need to show children how to use the words on their device. So we need to be modeling language so that they're able to see us use language. They're more likely to use it themselves. Oftentimes parents especially are, they feel like they can't touch the device. They don't want to activate the buttons because it's, their child's device. So a lot of what we can do in telepractice is teach these skills. We can teach about core words. We can teach about modeling. We can teach how to attribute meaning. Oftentimes children who are using devices, they sometimes hit words and it feels random or it feels like it was a mistake. We can attribute meaning to those things so that children learn their language has power and they can learn the meanings of words as they're using words on their devices. And then the last is just to model without expectation. Every time we model, it doesn't mean that the child has to say the word that we've modeled or it has to imitate the word that we modeled. Sometimes we just model and then we move on. So it's important to recognize that it's not always, we model with the expectation that a child will say something back.